welcome into CHGO Bets Daily, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome into a remote version of CHGO Bets Daily, your place for the best bets of tomorrow. We are previewing tomorrow's opening day. Very, very excited to be doing two remote shows. The Cubs show will be over at the Country Club bar on the north side, and we will be over at the Whistle on 95th and Cicero. So make sure you join us at both of those places, or one of them. I mean, both of them would be pretty impressive if someone did both of them, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, if I honestly, just because I love CHGO so much, if we didn't have to go do post game tomorrow, Sean, I would go to the Sox one just to support my friends, CHGO White Sox. But we have to do post game tomorrow.
Right.
I can't.
I get it.
So
I get it. Don't worry.
But I would love to go support you guys. But if you're watching and you're a Sox fan, go hang out with Sean, Herb, and Vinny.
I'll save you a seat. Don't worry. Just in case. You know, I
Just
know
in
you'll
case.
do your best to make it. You can follow Cody on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. We're going to be previewing not all 15 games. We're going to preview the Cubs game. We'll preview the White Sox game as in best bets. And then if there are any other best bets you want to throw out, whether it is from the Braves, National, Giants, Yankees, Orioles, Red Sox, whatever, we'll get to that at the end of the show. And also we got some Final Four picks as well. FAU taking on SDSU and UConn taking on Miami. So, and I really like UConn because I got a 9-1 future for them to win the title. But Cody, let's go into the Cubs matchup. Cubs are taking on the Brewers. Marcus Stroman making the opening day start for the Cubs. Corbin Burnes making the start for the Brewers, and it will be in Wrigley.
It will be. I know this is going to sound like a homer pick, but I'm going to take the Cubs to win tomorrow. They beat the Brewers last year on opening day against Corbin Burnes. I think it was with Kyle Hendricks instead. But this is a big year for Stroh because it's an opt-out season, so he can potentially make more money. That's my homer pick of tomorrow. I'm taking the Cubs to win. Of course, we don't know the lineups yet, which makes this a little harder, whatever. But based off pitching matchup, I know Burnes. I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate, right? But the Cubs lineup is better than last year, and I don't know. I feel like they're bringing some decent momentum into this game. And it's opening day, and opening day at Wrigley is always, no matter whether they're projected to be good or not, it's always a tough place to win. So,
well, and hey, too,
my homer pick again.
It's a perfect day for a homer pick because DraftKings is offering a no sweat bet. All MLB games from the 30th to the 2nd, opt in and place any MLB bet. And if your first qualifying bet after opting in loses, they'll credit you back with a bonus bet up to $10. So why not put $10 on the Cubs to win it plus 120? Because DraftKings, I just punched my mic. DraftKings is going to give you the bet back if the Cubs, don't win on opening day. But as you said, they did it last year, beating Corbin Burnes. And you know how Wrigley gets when it's cold. I mean, the ball could be dead. I mean, the Brewers could be hitting great balls off Marcus Stroman, and they could be dying at the warning track. So, I like it because it'll probably be a close game.
Yeah, and I also like, the Cubs defense is much better this year. At least it's projected to be much better this year. And I think that also helps them in this matchup. Also, the Cubs actually played well against Milwaukee all season. They had a winning record against Milwaukee last year. And I know Milwaukee's a little bit different. They added William Contreras and, they added a few other guys as well.
Colton Wong, right?
No, he went to Seattle. They lost
Jesse Winker. They got Jesse
Winker. Yeah. And Garrett Mitchell's like their top prospect. And he's going to be in center field probably tomorrow for the Brewers. But again, the Cubs roster is a lot different. I think, again, Stroman's coming off the World Baseball Classic where I thought he looked pretty good. And again, I think as far as going into it at plus 120, why not? Just why not? So that's my homer pick. You going to bet the White Sox?
I'm going to bet the Cubs. You've convinced me enough here. I like the Cubs' chances better than the White Sox chances. I'll be honest with that. Stroman saw Milwaukee a couple times last year, went 7 innings, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, no earned runs. The first time he saw him, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 3 Ks. And he's usually not a guy that walks 3 guys. Then again, 7 2/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. He's been pretty good against Milwaukee. So why not, especially at plus 120? I do like Corbin Burns. He's my Cy Young pick, but I don't know about that Brewers lineup. Rowdy Tellez seems to be doing a lot of the carrying for that lineup, and I don't know if I love that. So I'll ride with you. I'll take the Cubs on the money line at plus 120.
And I also like Milwaukee, their offense, when they are doing something, it's because they're hitting the ball out of the park. And it's supposed to be 50 degrees tomorrow. The sun might come out, but everyone knows how it is at Wrigley in April, man. The wind's probably going to be blowing in. If you maybe take the under, I don't know. But I don't feel good about Milwaukee's offense tomorrow unless they're able to spray the ball around and find holes. And with the shift gone, it honestly should be a little bit easier for them. But again, I like the Cubs' projected defense. So again, it is the homer pick. If you want to fade me, I absolutely don't blame you. But at plus 120, why the hell not? Might as well hop on the Cubs now while the market is low. And if they do turn out to be a competitive team, then you're getting on them now early before anything else. So I do have 2 other picks that I like. Sarah has them up. Now
let's go to the Sox first. Let's go to the Sox first. We'll hit the other bets after. But we'll both tail Cubs plus 120 because why not? DraftKings is giving us that bonus bet, so I'll take it. I hope I don't mush the Cubs either. And we're waiting for player props to come out. Corbin Burns strikeout props, Marcus Stroman strikeout props. I know in this next game, Astros and Sox taking place at 6:08 again. We'll be out at the Whistle at 95th Street in Cicero, 95 or 4911 West 95th Street, I think is the address. You got the Sox going to Houston. Sox on the money line plus 140. Astros on the money line minus 165. I feel like the Astros win by 2 runs or more. It's at plus 140, over under at 7. And this is why, Cody, if I'm getting a bonus bet of $10, why not just take one hell of a chance? I know the Astros are going to win. The Astros handed the White Sox their lunch pretty much every single time they saw them last year. Dylan Cease is very, very good. But Dylan Cease is prone to walking people. And if you walk anybody versus the Astros, I think they'll make you pay. I think he got really lucky last time he saw them. He did end up walking 3, but only allowed 1 earned run, I think. I don't think he does that again. I like the Astros to go. I like this game to go over. You could just look at the odds at over 7. It's at minus 125. So why not take a correct score shot? Because I'm a bad bettor. I'm a goofball. I'll take the Astros to win 6-2. Why not just actually make the call 30-1, $10 down, wage you 310. Why not? That'd be a great way to start opening day. And if I lose, I get my bonus bet back. So I think I might just take the all sprinkle, the massive sprinkle here, and take the Astros to win 6-2.
I love this energy. I'll give you that much. I love the energy.
I think it goes over. I mean, they're kind of telling you it goes over with that line.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the Astros, it's in Houston, right? So they're going to do the ring ceremony and like all this World Series, post-World Series stuff. They're going to have a lot of energy going into that game, obviously. And it's opening day. Of course, everyone's going to have a lot of energy. So I do lean the Astros to win that game. Taking the over, though, whenever you got Cease and Valdez on the mound, though, that might be I don't necessarily know, but I understand what you're saying about Cease and how he could be prone to walking guys. And I do remember the Cease versus Verlander matchup last year, in which he did walk a handful of guys, if I remember correctly. So if that type of thing happens again, then yeah, I mean, sure. Again, you're getting great odds at it, so why not?
Yeah. Our guy Shep is saying he needs a 7-leg parlay for the Cubs, so make sure you follow Cody. He'll probably give it live out of the country club, the 7-leg parlay for opening day. So thank you, Shep, for hanging out with us. And hey, while you guys are hanging out with us, make sure you hit that like button. If you, I think the Astros at least are probably going to score runs. I think they hit homers. The one thing too about player props not being posted, I want Jose Abreu home run prop. He is absolutely taking Dylan Cease yard. I can see it. I already have the tweet written up. You know, this is unfortunately manifesting in the wrong way. I could see him taking Cease deep. So I do think, again, like I think the Sox scored 2 runs, like over 9 innings. I think they're pretty geared to get something on the board. Valdez is a very good pitcher, but he does allow contact, and hopefully the White Sox get a little bit lucky. But I absolutely see the Crawford boxes being a detriment to Cease. So I'll take Astros to at least win by 3, and that's at plus 370. And again, I could take that sprinkle because DraftKings Sportsbook, the best sportsbook in the world, is having a bonus bet, a no sweat bet right now for the season opener. Through all games from the 30th to the 2nd, opt in and place any MLB bet. And if your first qualifying bet after opting in loses, we'll credit you back a bonus bet up to $10. Includes single bets, same game parlays, same game parlay X's, and traditional parlays where all legs are MLB. And it excludes cash out bets, voided bets, early wins, profit boosts, and odds boosts. And bonus bets expire after 7 days. So if you do lose, you have 7 days to sprinkle it on something else. And that is courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up with code CHGO. And new customers, if you bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So make sure you check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Cody, let's go into your other bets here.
Okay, so I got 2 regular plays. Angels minus 1.5 at minus 120 at Oakland. I think this is going to be a thing I do all year, Sean, and it's bet against the Oakland Athletics. We got Shohei Ohtani going up against whoever the hell the A's are throwing out there. I'm kind of high on the Angels coming into this year.
Kyle Muller?
Sure, yeah.
No, that's what it says on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Okay. Anyway, I saw Shohei Ohtani and I saw Athletics and was like, Angels minus 1.5. Let's ride. Because they're like a minus 215 favorite on the money line. I don't want that. So give me the run line with the Angels. Shohei Ohtani coming off the World Baseball Classic. And again, I am a little high on the Angels. I know it's scary because the Angels have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and they still, for some reason, can't win. But against the A's on opening day, I know they're on the road. I don't care. Give me the Angels to win by 2 at Oakland because that place stinks. Like, I've been to that stadium. It stinks. There's going to be no one there. No one's going to give a shit. And if the people who are there, they're probably there to see Shohei Ohtani, to be honest with you.
Well, and I could just take a guess here, Cody, and I don't think any of the A's were in the World Baseball Classic. So I think the Angels at least have the leg up there with guys that are primed and ready. Right. I love this pick too. I know baseball is always kind of iffy for bettors, but hey, I like all your picks so far. I like the Cubs. I like the Orioles as well, going up against the Red Sox. I saw Herb picking the Red Sox to win the AL East. I'm not buying that. I love the Birds.
No, I was getting ready to go into Orioles next. Orioles money line plus 105 against Boston. I don't know what Herb's thinking with the Red Sox winning the AL East. I know the Yankees are going to start the year with like some serious injury problems, but Toronto is still up there. The Orioles, I know they need to spend some money and they could actually be a competitive team, but they're adding Gunnar Henderson, who's the top prospect in baseball, on top of Adley and Cedric Mullins. And I think they're bringing a lot of momentum into this season, coming off of last year, winning 83 games. And Boston, they re-signed they re-signed or extended Rafael Devers, and then they added some veteran pitchers who are way past their prime. I mean, Corey Kluber, 5-6 years ago, that's scary, but Corey Kluber, he had to completely change the type of pitcher he is now. And for him to be the opening day starter, did something happen to Chris Sale again? Did I miss that?
Yes, I think he's hurt.
The one thing I'll say about Boston that I do like is I was really impressed by the outfielder from Japan while watching the World Baseball Classic. I think that he could be very good for them, but I don't know. I like the Orioles at plus 105 on the money line just because, I ain't trusting Corey Kluber. And yeah, I know the Orioles pitcher Kyle Gibson isn't exactly, Justin Verlander or anything like that. But when you look at the matchups or whatever, the only Red Sox that's really done much against him is Devers, and then Mondesi, who, he's got 13 play appearances against him and is hitting .538. But then you look over at what the Orioles lineup has done against Corey Kluber over time, and Mullins is batting .348 against him. You got I can't say his last name, Santander batting .412.
You got it, Santander.
Yeah, and 17 at bats. They got some guys who have some success against Corey Kluber here. And again, I think I don't know if the Orioles are going to make the playoffs, but I do think they're going to be a fun team. And I think Boston finishes at the bottom of the AL East this year. I don't know what Herb's thinking with them winning the AL East.
I'm 100% with you. I'm out on the Red Sox. Devers is a nice player, but I mean, outside of that, I don't know what else is left there. I love all those
I just
picks.
don't like the pitching.
Tailing. Yeah, no, I don't either. I mean, like it's Sale, it's Kluber. I mean, really, your best pitcher is Nick Pivetta.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't understand that at all. But I'm telling you, I just placed all three of your bets. I love your MLB picks. We will have a show on Friday at 2:00, I believe. So we will be able to talk a little bit about the games on Saturday, but you have some previews here. And obviously these lines will move because we have days leading up to this one game. We know these unders have been very successful for San Diego State. So maybe, getting it right now at 132.5 is a great number.
Yeah, I mean, it was at 131.5 when it opened, so it's only moved up a half point. I'm actually surprised that it hasn't moved up or down really much at all. I'm actually surprised that both games haven't really moved much at all in these, in between these two games. But I'm just going to ride the San Diego State under trend like I have the last two San Diego State games. The 2-point spread. I kind of lean FAU just because they're the 9 seed and I keep betting against them and it's not working out for me. And when do I finally give in? But I think the under is just a safe play because the way the San Diego State plays, which is slow, and they're so physical defensively. I don't think FAU is really. I mean, they played some tough teams like Tennessee, for example, that are really great defensively, but. I don't know. I think taking the under on that game is safe. And then Miami and UConn, I'm actually a little optimistic that Miami can hang around, but I think the over is the play, just kind of like how I thought the over was the play against Texas. That said, UConn, I think, is a better defensive team, so that does kind of scare me a little bit. But if Miami's going to hang around like I think they are, then I think it goes over. So the 5.5 is interesting, but UConn's been destroying teams. So I guess the only thing that scares me about the under hitting in that game is if Miami just can, if UConn's defense really shows up and Miami just can't do much, then I bet that goes under. But I don't know, man. Miami's coming off. They were down 12 points with 10 minutes to go against Texas, and they figured it out. I think they're coming into this Final Four game with a ton of momentum. I don't know if they win. I don't know if they cover, but I think they can at least score some points.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird because, I mean, in the second half, UConn's just been murdering teams. So maybe you take Miami to cover the first half and then, or maybe Miami to win the first half and then UConn to win the second half. But if they get into a stretch like that where they did Miami in their last game against Houston, they're not going to be able to catch up because UConn will just stomp on their throats. We'll get to, again, that game on Friday at 2 p.m. Talk more baseball as well. I have a parlay that I ended up putting together, and we'll get to John's question in the chat in just a second. But I'm riding all of Cody's bets. I'm going to go Cubs money line. I'm going to go Orioles money line. I'm going to go Angels in this parlay. The Angels spread that you took, -1.5 at -120. The Braves spread at -1.5 at -140. They're taking on the Nationals and the worst pitcher in baseball, Patrick Corbin, and the Mariners at +1.5 at -225. They have the Guardians. The Guardians are pretty bad outside of the AL Central. I think the Mariners win the game, and you're going to give me a 1.5 for them to cover. I really like that. So that is at +353. 11 wins you 49. So we'll see what we can do on opening day. But John's got a question about future bets. Would you guys bet on two different pitchers to win Cy Young in the same league? He's looking at Ohtani and Cease. What do you make of the AL possibly betting two pitchers, or would you sprinkle on Taillon and maybe another NL Cy Young like you gave out Taillon yesterday?
Yeah. I mean, when we talked yesterday, we were like Shohei Ohtani, we didn't even talk about it going into the show. We both put Shohei Ohtani down, and my reasoning for Ohtani at least is just because he's in a walk year. I mean, this is his, not that he needs to prove anymore, but I think in a way he might be he might take the Aaron Judge winning MVP as a little bit of a, and I took that personally type thing. Cause I mean, he is who he is. He's a unicorn. He's one of the best at both sides of the ball. And, and he had a great World Baseball Classic. I think that he's bringing a lot of momentum into the season. And I think as far as Cy Young, I think, what was that, plus 1,200? I mean, I feel like those are great odds for someone of his caliber, no doubt. For him to win MVPs at like plus 190, I mean, the difference there is so wild to me. And the only reason I can come up with the difference that it is just because I don't know if MLB is going to give him both. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's one of the best pitchers in the world. Like I think Shohei Ohtani to win Cy Young is at plus 1,200. That's I'll sprinkle on that. Well, yeah, I absolutely will sprinkle on that.
He's insanely good. No, I think it's a great play at 12-1. We always love anything higher than 10-1. What we were talking about yesterday, Cody. But I mean, you even just look at what he does per inning. I mean, he's just dominant. And if he can last longer, I mean, he led. Last longer. Check out Roman. But if he's a guy that last year led the league in K per nine. So it's really, I mean, if he reaches 180 innings, he might strike out like 240. Like, I mean, if you're striking out 240 guys as a pitcher and hitter, I mean, like, he could be a next level of dominant. And I think that's what we're really finding out, is that he's comfortable in this position. And he's just, I think, gaining more comfortability. I think Trout being healthy, Rendon being healthy will probably lift, some weight off his shoulders. I love Ohtani this year. Again, I'd parlay him to win MVP and Cy Young if you could. And that'd be a pretty nice payout, because that dude, if he wins the Cy Young, he's winning MVP, because he's also hitting 35 bombs.
Yeah. I mean, despite what I said, like if it was up to me, I would give him MVP and Cy Young if he is the best at both of them, no doubt. I just don't know how the MLB is going to vote on it, since he's just a special type of player, and you know how the voters are, man. So, but
weird.
Yeah, I mean, betting on Cease to win Cy Young. He was in the race at the end of last year, right, with Verlander.
Finished second.
Yeah, I mean, between the two, I mean, we don't know what the Angels are going to be. Obviously, the White Sox, I was looking at you guys' season predictions for like the White Sox record. You're like 83, Vinny's like 90, and I was actually a little surprised by that when I saw it. And then Herb is like in the middle of that. So it's very different. No, I honestly, I'm not surprised by it, because if the White Sox are healthy and Giolito gets back to being good again and Cease is what he was last year, then I think he could be in that race. And the only reason I'm talking about the team itself is because I think winning a Cy Young, I think if the team is good, it only helps your chances of winning that award, as we saw last year with Verlander winning it over Cease, I think. And, Sandy Alcantara was just above everyone else in the NL, far and away better. And despite the fact he was on a bad team, he won it anyway. You don't always see that. If it comes down to like 2 or 3 really good pitchers who are on good teams, or 2 are on good teams and one's on a bad team, I do think that the voters would lean for a guy that is on a team that's winning. So obviously, if the White Sox are good, Cease is having a good year. And so, I don't mind it. I just don't know what you're going to get out of that team, man. That they're like the biggest like question in the AL Central, to me at least, because that the Royals and the Tigers are probably going to be towards the bottom unless crazy shit happens, and the Guardians are they could regress, and then the Twins, they kept Correa, they got a nice rotation, but I just don't know. Like it's arguably the worst division in baseball. You don't really know what any team in that division is going to do. So I mean, then I think that the Angels, like I just said earlier, I'm kind of high on them, just because I think that team finally is kind of healthy, and you got those 2 guys in Ohtani and Trout, and all the Astros, I think it helps him.
All the Astros added this year was a 36-year-old first baseman for $60 million. Like, they didn't get better. Like they made one move, lost their best pitcher. I have a lot of question marks about the Astros. Like, I don't think they're
Fair.
going to win 95 games. So I'm with you. Like, if the Angels get enough pitching, and it seems like Reed Detmers is coming along, they could be feisty because they already got the
Patrick
best
Sandoval's
pitcher
on
hitter
that
in
team too,
baseball,
right?
and Mike Trout. What's that?
I said Patrick Sandoval's on that team too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and he looked pretty good in the World Baseball Classic for
he's got
Mexico.
one of the best changeups in MLB. So I mean, they could be something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they could be, threatening at the deadline if they are, good. Maybe they go out and get a better pitcher to help that team. I think they're going to be good. I like the Mariners as well. So I think it's just going to be a down year for the Astros. Like, I think the Mariners are up, Angels up, Astros down.
Yeah, I mean, you always hear about the World Series hangover, right? I think the Astros are still good enough to make the playoffs, but I don't necessarily think they're a complete lock to win their division just because, their division's better than in past years when they've, had successful years. And it's not just the Mariners that are going up against them. I think even Texas can be a competitive team against them. The only team in that division that really sucks is the A's. So the only reason I'm bringing up like team success and stuff is I just think those awards, it really matters if the team is having success too. At least the way I
feel like it's come down a little bit. I feel like it's been a little less of that recently. Like, obviously the Rick Porcello thing, I think, is a big glaring issue. But I mean, you even see like DeGrom and Felix Hernandez have win-loss ratios near 500, even below 500, and they still get the award. So if they are truly special, I think they will win the award, and I think writers can realize that. But if you have guys that are definitely even, and one team's like 81 and 81, like Dylan Cease, and one's winning the World Series in the AL West, like Justin Verlander, I think it's an easy nod to Verlander. I think you're right in that aspect for sure.
That's fair. Yeah.
But if Ohtani goes out and strikes 300 guys, I think give him the Cy Young.
I personally would rather sprinkle on Shohei Ohtani to win Cy Young than I would Dylan Cease. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't that. I don't think he could win it. I think the odds for Ohtani are just so great for the type of player he is.
Well, and there's so many question marks if a player like that could sustain, health. So I'm with you, John. I would say put a little sprinkle on both, because if you win either, you'll be able to pay back your buy-in with, either, because you're just taking two sprinkles at 9-1 and 12-1. So why not? Anyways, that's going to do it. We're going to have another show on Friday at 2 p.m. So make sure you join us for that. We'll talk more Final Four. We'll talk more baseball as well. We'll have bets for that day. And very, very excited for opening day to be here. Make sure you join CHGO Cubs over at Country Club Bar. Do you have the address on that, or do you have any?
It's just on Clark Street, right down, like just south of Wrigley Field. Like, walk past Sluggers a block and you'll see it.
All right, there you go. And you're gonna have Luke over there. You're gonna have Ryan over there, Cody, and Corey, and I don't think Brendan's coming in, but Jared gonna be there.
I don't think Jared's gonna be there. And I do know for sure it'll be me, Ryan, or me, Corey, and Luke, and then we'll see if Ryan can make an appearance. Depends on when Jed Hoyer talks tomorrow. So
he's got a job, I guess.
He's got to be the serious one. He's got to take his job seriously.
And you could join us for CHGO Sports over at or CHGO White Sox over at the Whistle at 95th and Cicero. A lot of good, nice drink specials over there. So make sure you join us if you want, as a White Sox fan on the South Side at 5 p.m. And thank you to Sarah for producing the show today. Thank you to Cody for joining me. You can follow Cody on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. We'll talk to you tomorrow live from opening day. CHGO Cubs at Country Club Bar and CHGO White Sox at the Whistle. We'll talk to you on Friday when we're millionaires.